Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Socialers podcast starring Jason and
Joanna. Got it now.
We're still figuring out how to do an intro. Cut us some slack. We're only a couple episodes in. We'll figure it out eventually. It is the day before Thanksgiving. You're probably not listening to this around Thanksgiving, but that's what day it is for us.
So it's basically the weekend.
Yeah, kind of, pretty much. Do we get Friday off? Do we give our team Friday off?
I don't think so, technically, but I feel like any day that most of our clients will not be working is kind of an automatic holiday. I don't really care. Some people took the day off, some people didn't. So whatever happens.
It's kind of we are very much I know a lot of companies are trending towards the type of thing that we do, but we're on limited vacation. I don't care. I tell people just take the time off that you need,
and the more
just get
they
your work
do
done.
That, the more they actually take the time they need, the less they'll care when a client reaches out, at a time where they're off. You know what I mean? Just because they could take any time off. So that's why I feel like on Friday, if someone reaches out with an emergency, I'm not worried about someone just being completely MIA.
Yeah, I feel like when you have the attitude that we have about how we treat our team in terms of like time off and not doing time tracking and just really focused on doing the work and doing it well, I feel like people don't feel like they need to take time off. And what I mean by that is like they don't feel like the added pressure or overworked. If they feel like they own their own life, if they have that freedom and on any given day can take an hour or two and do whatever they want. I mean, if you live that type of life in terms of work-life balance, you don't feel like this desperate need to like, I need to unplug for a week or two to get away from work. I mean, you still do. I mean, everybody should do that no matter what. But I think, when you have a traditional 9-to-5er and, you get your 2 weeks of vacation and you're driving to work, like you're like, oh, I can't wait to like go on vacation. Whereas I think with us, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to take a couple of days off, or I'm going to take a week off because I'm going to this place. And you're not running away from something, right? Yeah. You're running towards something, if that makes any sense. So I don't know. I could be wrong.
And I'll say this 1,000 times. It starts with hiring the right people. You hire the right people, you trust them, they're not going to take advantage of unlimited PTO. So
yeah.
And
for sure.
I put themselves in my shoes. Like if I were in their place, I would want to know, you never want to be the one who takes the most time off and is looked differently at for that. So every month in their one-on-one, I give them the average time taken off of everyone. And then I give them their time taken off as well, just so they can see. It's not like you better stay around the average. It's just kind of like, just so you can gauge, where you stand against everyone else, because I can imagine me being anxious and wondering if I'm taking too much time off and then not taking enough time off and really taking advantage of that part of the compensation package, because it's not just about your pay. It's also about, unlimited PTO, working remotely, working when, where, setting your own schedule. So I think it keeps things balanced.
Yeah, I don't know. When you love your work, I think, that the disparity between vacation and your work isn't as vast, I think, when you're going on vacation. Again, it's like you're not running away from something.
Yeah.
You don't dread coming back, right? That's the key. I remember that. I remember like when you had some time off and you're just like, oh God, back to a work week.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think for me, that was like always, that's probably the biggest driver in knowing that I wanted to do my own thing. I just remember, I think that's really the secret to like happiness is like on Sunday night or Sunday or whatever, like you don't dread. Oh,
that's
God,
when you're in a good spot.
Here we go again. Yeah, when you don't feel that way. And it's so weird to say that out loud because I haven't felt that way in a long time. And it's good to remind myself of that because when you get used to that, like you don't want to forget, like, remember what it used to be like to value that, like, cause it's that did suck.
Well, if you want a good reminder,
it was worst.
If you want a good reminder of it, the the job postings I'm looking at to put on socialers, I mean, you can look at their benefits and just see like, they'll say something like generous PTO, 3 weeks. And I'm like, oof, I could never. How do you go from unlimited PTO, to a limited PTO? Like, you just can't get better than the best.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always been a believer of like, if you hire the right people, if you hire grown-ups, if you hire people that are mature and work hard, you know, take the time off that you need, I mean, people like that won't abuse it, and they're not going to be like, oh, excellent, I'm going to take 3 months off. I'm like, well, that doesn't really work. Like, and that's not to say that there couldn't be situations where, somebody might say, hey, I want to take some kind of sabbatical, or I want to do this for a month. And it's like, well, okay, let's talk about that and figure out, if that's something that you need, then
how can we work that
obviously
out?
as a business, we have to accommodate for your absence.
Yeah.
But
and I think us being a relatively small agency helps with that, because the people who cover you are your friends. You cover for them, they cover for you. No one wants to screw anyone over. And I think a big part of not dreading the Monday or having the Monday blues is also the anxiety of like, did I miss something? Am I going to be blamed for something? Am I going to be in trouble? Especially, I always feel like when I take significant time off, I always think I'll like lose my job when I come back. I'm like, they're going to realize that they don't need me, and I need to check in a couple times to make sure that they know they need me.
Especially if you're gone for a long time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, if I'm gone too long, they might realize they don't. Yeah, I remember thinking all those things. All those just shitty things about work. Like, that was the worst.
Yeah.
So,
and I think
we're lucky.
I mean, we talked about culture last time, but it's integral to our success in every way, shape, and form. But I just think how transparent you are and how you've kind of dictated Weeby as well, just as an agency, has really helped with that, because no one's going to be in trouble and no one's ever going to be in trouble. But, if there is something that went wrong, it's not like we're keeping it a secret and then laying it on them, anything like that. So I think that really helps to keep the anxiety levels down.
Yeah, I'm really interested in, it's pretty naive to think that the people that you hire are going to be with you forever. I mean, that doesn't happen anymore. Like, so my wife has been at the same job, not the same job, but same company for almost 30, I think it's actually more than 30 years. She's been there for that's the only job she's ever had. Like, it's insane. Like, that doesn't happen anymore. And I'm just like, what if with what I'm building here, like, nobody ever left? Like, I need to make it so.
I mean, you have a good track record so far.
Well, I mean,
we have an agency, we have an extremely low turnover rate.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's my goal, is to try to build something that makes it really difficult for anybody to want to leave.
This is the longest I've been anywhere.
Well, the challenge is growth, right? It just depends on what kind of person you are. I mean, to your point, when you're a small agency, there are advantages and disadvantages to being a small business. The advantages being you don't have all these layers of management, which can be a good thing, because then, you can move quickly and you have more autonomy, and, you can be more creative. And, but the flip side is, when you're smaller, there may not be as much opportunity for growth. Like, if you have the same 7 or 8 people for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, there's only so much. How much can you really be promoted into other roles or add more responsibility? So it just depends. If you're the type of person that doesn't need that, you just, you want to continue to make some more money, but you love what you do. So I'm not naive. I know people they may outgrow us, but I'm still going to make it real hard for them to leave. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I love our team. We're awesome. They're awesome.
Can I tell you something totally irrelevant?
Sure. It's our podcast. We do whatever we want.
Yay. There is a dog in the neighborhood. Picture this with me. It is a Corgi Golden Retriever mix. It has the body of a Corgi, the face of a Golden Retriever puppy, the tail of a Golden Retriever, Fluffy.
Franken.
It basically looks like a forever Golden Retriever puppy, like that floofy, happy, well, not so happy because he tried to attack Archie. But his name's Teddy, and he's the best thing ever.
It's so weird how like new dogs can be created by mixing breeds.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's a little bit sadistic.
Well,
because there are
if people are trying to do it on purpose, it feels a little weird. But if two
You think
dogs just hook up, it's like, well, whatever.
Yeah,
What
I
happens
don't think a
happens.
purebred corgi and a purebred golden retriever just found themselves in a romantic hotel room one night.
No, probably
That was
not. It was
definitely on
probably
purpose.
forced.
Forced.
Yeah,
They did not consent.
but I don't know. It's not the animal's fault. I love animals, period. Better than people.
No, and once they're
So,
here, of course, love them to death. But I don't agree with,
yeah,
whatever it's called, designer
I
dogs.
I can't get enough of. I was never a cat person, and now I cannot get enough cat videos because we don't have a cat.
But you had the best cat ever.
I did. She passed away about a year and a half ago, which was devastating because I inherited her through my wife. So I had her for like 10 or 9 years, and I was her favorite person. And now I'm like, I just want cats. And we can't because our dog is a pain in the ass and doesn't like anybody but
Hey, I
her
know
and
about pain in
so,
the ass dogs. You know about my
yeah.
pain in the ass dog. Hey, we're
Yeah,
working
but
on it. He's a baby.
yours still has hope.
Yeah, he's
Ours
a
is
baby.
not.
We're working on it.
Yeah, there's no working on ours. He's a 10-year-old old man who's just hates everything. So
Dachshunds are like that.
no new animals in our future, in the near future. So it is what it is. I just watch my cat videos, and that's how I get my cat fix.
I have a question for you, and then
all right,
we're going to get into the actual point of the episode.
Okay. What do you got?
Who has the most Instagram followers?
Oh man, who has them? I thought I saw this. I think I stumbled across this nugget of information. No, I don't think I remember though.
It shocked me. It still shocks me. I'm not over it.
I don't know, like Justin Bieber. I don't know.
No, I'm gonna give you a hint. It's a male. Does that help?
It's a male.
Cuts it down by 50%. Yeah, I would have thought it was female too.
Maybe some random like European soccer player or something.
You know it.
I don't.
Okay, fine. Then name a random European soccer player.
I don't. I'm not a soccer person.
You hate it? Okay.
Ronaldo.
It is Ronaldo.
Is it?
Yeah. He has
how many?
502 million followers, followed by, actually, no, sorry. The most followed woman is Kylie Jenner with 371 million. Who are these 500?
Imagine having that people.
500 million people like soccer. I played soccer for 12 years. I couldn't watch it if you tied me to a chair.
It's the truly a global sport. But let's be honest. Why when you think about sports that, it's global because it's a relatively easy, I don't want to say it's an easy sport, but it's less expensive to get into. Yeah. Like when you think about baseball or hockey or football, like there's a lot of equipment, so you're not going to get that in,
it's an accessible sport.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. But still 500 million
I can't even imagine.
Like what could he possibly post that's interesting? Kicked a soccer ball today. Okay.
You can make a hell of a living with that many followers.
Yeah, well, I think he was already making one hell of a living.
Yeah. Well, he could quit soccer tomorrow and make a living just off of his following.
Next week, we're going to be talking about how Ronaldo bought Twitter from Musk with his billions of dollars from his paid partnerships on Instagram. Okay. The reason we're here is to talk about how to measure the return on investment of your social media efforts. Do you like how I didn't use the acronym ROI, just in case there's anyone out there who doesn't know what ROI means?
I think most would get that one, but
you can't shame people who don't know it. Everyone has to learn it at some point.
It's true. We promise to spell out our acronyms as most of the time. I'm sure we'll miss it.
Some of these are going to be obvious, and some I think are pretty good nuggets of information that I still talk to clients every day about. Even clients who are, marketing managers or have experience in marketing that may not think about the return that they're getting if it's not dollar signs. Well,
you're in charge of this topic theme. I'll chime in, but I'm I'm counting on you to lead this charge.
Don't make me nervous. I
Too
have a
late.
limited amount of wine. I'm in a
You're lucky this
closet.
isn't a live
This
cast.
isn't also
Can you
my wine
imagine?
cellar.
Oh, cellar
I also don't have wine
with a
glasses.
classy glass, by the way. Do you have wine glasses? Do you have one? You don't.
We
have
don't
wine.
have wine
You
glasses.
don't.
Here's the thing.
Why not?
You move into a new place. We moved here from Australia, essentially. So we had 0 items. I bought, you buy the items that you need first, right? Pots, pans, plates, forks, knives.
Yeah.
And then we drink wine, I would say maybe once a week max. I can put it in a different orifice. I can put it in a cup. I could put it in a mug. I have put it in a mug. The urgency to buy wine glasses just isn't there.
I see. But you'll feel so much.
I know. It doesn't feel
classier and
good.
important.
Let me tell you, this is a thick rim. It doesn't feel good.
All
Wine
right.
glasses have thin rim. Anyways, the
Okay,
first one
anyway.
is one of the more
Okay.
obvious ones, and one of the ones that clients are very well aware of: sales and website traffic. Obviously, this is going to represent a return on investment pretty clearly. There's another acronym that's used on Facebook and other ad platforms called return on ad spend, ROAS. Basically, what that means is however many dollars of ad spend you put in, it's going to give you like a decimal number. So let's say it's 5.23. That means for every dollar of advertising that you spend, you're getting $5.21 back in sales via those ads. It doesn't take into account how much you're paying your agency or how much you're paying whatever. So it's just one component of the return on investment.
Does leads count as this, or am I jumping the gun? Was that a different one?
Definitely leads. So I would say that you would attribute a dollar amount per lead, right? Most people who are looking for leads would say we'll pay up to $30 per lead. So I guess you could kind of count that just as a sale. So yeah, that's kind of included in here. And
Can I?
Yeah, go for it.
I want to share a side story to this. We had I reached out to some local companies. It wasn't a social, it was kind of a social media thing. I did a search for air conditioning companies because we don't have air conditioning installed in our home. We live in Seattle, that's kind of rare, but it's getting hotter here because I think the ozone layer is melting and we're all going to be fried in the next 20 years because it's getting warmer here. So we're getting an air conditioner. So I reached out to like 4 or 5. I did my thing. I searched for them on Google, did a little reputation management inquiry, like looking on social and the Yelps of the world, the reviews, and narrowed it down. Reached out to about 3 or 4. I probably clicked on a couple ads here and there to kind of get to them, and certainly saw them after the fact. So, long story short, I contacted a couple. Two have come out. One called me back like 3 days after my inquiry and said, "Oh, we're not taking any appointments right now."
They called you to tell you that?
They called me to tell me like, "We're not taking any appointments right now. Do you want us to put you on our wait list?" And I was like, no, like there's
This is
2 or 3 other
2022.
companies.
I don't wait. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm like, you want me to wait for you guys and not pursue other options because you aren't the only one. I hope you realize this. And then I said that, and she's like, "Oh, okay, well, all right, thanks anyway." And I'm like, I got off the phone, and I'm like, how much did that lead cost them? The fact that they don't, I mean, I get it. They're too busy, whatever. Like that just blows my mind. You're spending money to advertise yourself and you're turning away leads. How much how much did it cost them for me? 20, 30, 40, $50? And you don't have a backup plan? Like, okay, fine. You're busy. Have a partner, like find another company and for backfill and give them the lead and charge them for it. Like you're losing money.
I
Like
wonder
obviously
if
people are calling you.
I mean, like you said, Seattle, not a place that you think would be run rampant with leads on air conditioners. But
yeah, I mean, the point is like they're spending the money for that lead and they don't have a plan in place. They're wasting money.
I think you raise a good point of like instant gratification. People need instant gratification. They need to know
Yeah.
that if they want to book a call with you, they can go on your Calendly and book a call with you.
Yep.
They don't want you to,
Yep.
they don't want to submit their email and hear back from you. Maybe. I hate when I do that for a demo or whatever. And they're like, we'll contact you. I'm like, cool, that'll be in my junk mail and I'll forget about you. So you're lost.
And I think that also depends on for local services like that, 100%. I think for us, it's actually the opposite. They don't want to talk to somebody that, right? When we've tested this, like I don't think in the history of the 5 years of our agency, we've ever had somebody call and have that turn into a client. I almost ignore phone calls right now. The phone number is literally just there to validate that we're a real company and that it gives like a comfort level. Like, okay, they got a phone number just in case.
Yeah, unless the service is something where people need to vet it significantly.
I think for us,
the more time people take,
yeah,
the better the lead.
They just want to fill out the form for us and then do a little bit of back and forth. Like, oh, okay, these guys seem legit. Now I'm ready to get on a conversation with them. But yeah, for like local services, but like, yeah, wasted lead. So if you're listening and you have a business, like, and you can't accommodate, like be smart about how you spend your money and have a backup plan. Like somebody else will buy that lead from you. You might as well get a few bucks out of it, even if you can't service them. So thought that was interesting.
Quick side story about instant gratification, because those words are burned into my soul. When I was 15 or 16, I got all 4 wisdom teeth out. All 4 were impacted, which means they're sideways or something crazy was happening. Anyways, my dentist, I think, was a total hack. He damaged a nerve. So like a week after the surgery, I was still completely numb from my bottom lip down to my chin. It was completely numb. So I called him and I was like, is this normal? Or my mom called him or whatever. And he's like, no, you should probably come in. So I come in and he's like doing the needle thing on me. And he goes, well, looks like I damaged a nerve. It could regenerate in 18 months. It could never regenerate. And I'm obviously like upset. Like I'm a 16-year-old kid who wants to kiss boys. And my bottom lip is numb. Like, am I going to be drooling forever? And him and my mom sat there and had a conversation about how kids these days need instant gratification and are not patient. I was not patient for my nerve to regenerate after this guy damaged a nerve. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little bit scarred. Yeah. Yes, I wanted instant gratification. And yes, my feeling eventually came back. Yes, it took 18 months. No, I did not drool.
And then you get back to kissing boys.
I never stopped, but I just started feeling it again.
All right.
Okay, next one. So that was kind of quick, but essentially sales and website traffic. So these are pretty basic. So things you can be looking at in order to see if you're getting a return on investment. Are you getting leads? Are you getting sales? Pretty straightforward. The second one is Google Analytics. So Google is migrating from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics 4. This is happening at the end of June. I think will be the last time that any data gets sent to your Universal Analytics properties. It's a relatively urgent situation if you're still using Universal Analytics, because if you're going to hire someone to migrate that for you, migrate that information, or like not necessarily migrate the data, but migrate, the goals and objectives and what a conversion is, it can take some time. So I would get on that, because Google Analytics is like it is like the data hub for anything, for all of your marketing efforts, social included. So essentially what I would recommend is UTM tag everything. I don't know what UTM stands for, but Universal. Okay, I don't know.
Universal, yeah.
UTM tagging basically means that you change the URL of a website. You can change it of any website. You can search UTM tagging and out will spit like a generator that'll generate it for you. You can put information about what platform you're on, even down to the campaign. So if you're running like a Black Friday campaign, for instance, or an end of year sale, you can put end of year sale so that you know that anyone who's going via this link was led there by your end of year sale graphics. It's very good for tracking things separately, seeing where your traffic's coming from, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, anywhere. So highly recommend getting used to Google Analytics. I know Jason has strong feelings about Google Analytics 4 and not liking it, but Google has never cared about your feelings, and they never will.
Well, I mean, it's just like any free service. It's just the support sucks. And I mean, you really got to know your shit to navigate that with little to no help. So
you do. If you're going to
do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
With without needing that help. But the times that you do, it can be a pain in the ass.
Even if you feel pretty well versed in it, I would recommend a consultation with an agency who specializes in it, just to make sure that you're tracking all the right things, you're tracking them correctly, and that you understand what all the metrics mean, because they can be invaluable in determining what's successful and what's not. Next one, industry specific KPIs. If you're with an agency and they are giving you KPIs for Facebook wide, Instagram wide, LinkedIn wide, I would kindly ask them to make sure they give you that in addition to industry specific KPIs. Whatever industry you're in, automotive, legal, whatever it may be, you can Google industry specific KPIs, say automotive industry, LinkedIn KPIs, and see what is an average cost per click in this industry, what is an average cost per lead in this industry. So you want to know how you're stacking against your competitors, because if you say, oh my God, it costs $50 a lead, but your competitors are paying $200, then that agency or whoever's running the ads is actually doing a really good job for you.
I
you
have
may speak.
An interesting nugget. May I speak?
You may speak. You didn't raise your hand, but okay.
I don't, like I said, I don't have as much. You're smarter than me when it comes to this stuff. So if you run an agency, or you're thinking of running an agency, one of the most powerful sales tactics is to, like, most people are either vain or very competitive, or both. So you can use that to your advantage by talking about how their competitors are doing. Like, oh, well, ABC company's actually doing this, and based on what we can see, blah, 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 blah. And that, you want to talk about lighting a fire under somebody's ass. Trust me, they will they're like, oh, well, they're doing backwards. That. And then, oh yeah. So if you find that your sales life cycles are too long and it's taking too long, and use people's natural tendency to be very competitive in your favor, and you'll find that, assuming that what you're telling them is, true, or at least has some merit behind it, it can go a long way. So
nice.
Now you know.
The more you know, the less you don't know.
Yes.
It's actually incredibly profound, even though it sounds stupid.
I think so.
Good, because I have it tattooed on me. I'm glad you like it.
No, you don't.
I don't. I don't have any tattoos. I want one. I'm in the market.
Be careful.
I know. I don't know.
Once you go down that road, there's no turning
I know,
back.
because anytime I get something on my ears pierced, I'm like, okay, I want 10 more. Even though it hurts, and it hurts for weeks, gets infected and gross.
I just got one a month ago. I don't think I've showed anybody it yet, other than Molly. No, a tattoo.
Oh, you're a tattoo.
Remember the tattoo I got?
Molly.
Kind of.
Inspired
let's not people that are listening are like, you did what?
Inspired by.
It's not. Yes, it's definitely representative of her and our relationship. And most people are like, oh, you don't ever do that. Don't get it. It's a relationship killer. I'm like, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in like signs and stuff like that. I'm like, no, if your relationship ends,
I know,
after you get a tattoo of that, then your relationship had problems to begin with. Doomed.
I know, we're planning a wedding. It wasn't
the tattoo.
And like, we're not like traditional. It's not that we're against it. We just like aren't super like, oh, first, like, don't see each other on the wedding day. And people are like, oh, that's bad luck. I'm like, we have enough like real world problems that the environment throws at us. We don't need a hypothetical. If we see each other on the wedding day, we'll be doomed for the rest of our marriage. We're good.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I don't buy Play with fire.
Yeah. I believe in things that you can touch, taste, feel, see, hear. Is that the five senses? Whatever it is. So Anywho, what's next?
This is one of my favorites because this is something I explain to clients a lot, and I think it eases a lot of minds. Understand brand awareness as an objective. So let's say you are a small business, you are a law firm, you're looking for leads in a specific niche of your law practice, and you've been running ads and you've been reaching the right people, you've been reaching the demographic you were trying to reach, but people aren't converting. Does that mean your campaign is a fail? No. You are reaching the right people. They are seeing you, they are becoming aware of your brand, potentially engaging with the content, maybe not necessarily converting. But all ad platforms have this magic tool of retargeting. You can keep reaching out to those same people. Maybe they don't want to convert this time. Maybe you have a product or a service that is not like a first view conversion, meaning similar to socialistics. Like you said, people aren't going to call up and then immediately sign a contract in 10 minutes. You know, it takes time. You want to make sure people are vetting you. Just because you are spending money on lead generation and you are not getting any leads does not mean it is a waste of money. You're reaching the right people. You're getting your name and brand out there. You can create lookalike audiences, meaning the intelligence that is unknown to us all in the ad platform can duplicate your audience that you're actually reaching, or the people who are engaging with your content, and find people who look just like them. So age, income, job title, things like that. So there is value even if you are not converting. And I think a lot of people get scared, turn off the ads, and don't do anything with that information, when really you can be retargeting, you can be working them down a funnel, especially if you're an unknown brand. I think this is really important to understand, that you're not going to convert. Just because you put $50 into Google doesn't mean you're going to get a lead back. That's not how it works.
Yeah. And then the opposite end of that spectrum, and this is where I think good agencies, or agencies that scale and survive, or as a consultant, is you can't lean on that too heavily. I mean, half, if not more, of the prospects that come our way because they've been burned, because they've been working with someone or an outfit that just focuses on that and doesn't show any sort of movement around driving leads or sales. And that's usually a clear indicator of a pretty unsophisticated marketer. Anybody that's, got the desire and time and a little bit of smarts can figure out how to navigate, driving likes and engagement and vanity metrics and social media. The real difference is turning that again into leads and sales eventually, because most businesses eventually need to see that. I mean, I think the good ones that, understand that these things take time have an appetite for, giving it a few months to work through those things. But at some point, you're going to have to demonstrate an ability to leverage social media strategies into real world results. And if you don't do that, then your clients, it's going to be a revolving door. And some agencies are okay with that. We're not. We always say, and we believe it, like keeping clients is more important than winning new ones. To me, that's how, when we, like at the beginning of this conversation, we're talking about the life we're able to live and all that. That's because we're able to hold on to clients, and we do things the right way, and we don't have as much volatility with the clients that we have as we did in the beginning, because we've learned and we've grown and we've gotten sophisticated in what we do. So, you have to be able to do those things.
Yeah. I think client retention is huge, and I keep going off tangents because I have so many thoughts about these things. We need to do a whole episode on client retention. But I think something that's really important there, just a little tangent tidbit. Anytime a client leaves, no matter the reason, there's something you can learn and change from it. Whether it be, if it's 100% their fault, which is rarely the case, or 100% on them for, them being unreasonable or whatever the case may be, you can then learn, okay, what did we miss in the sales process that let in a client who was never going to be any good for us, who is never going to stay here long term? If it's 100% on you, obviously you can see what you did in terms of client delivery and deliverables and things like that, and make changes there. But it's always a combination of the two. And I think that's something that's helped us really keep our client retention high, is we were really humble in the beginning, and we still are. But in the beginning, anytime I lost a client, it was like a whole review. Okay, what could we have done differently? So I'm like short of breath. I think standing is like a workout.
You're doing all the talking. This is a workout.
I mostly work from my couch. So you making me stand up is like.
You can sit down if you want.
I'm in my closet.
On future episodes.
Okay. Well,
there's no room for a chair?
Well, I would be like this.
Oh.
And the mic's up here. So, and maybe I need a stool, but it's got to have a back. Why do stools not have backs?
I'm
Anyways,
sure you can find
anyways.
one.
Next one is similar to one I said previously about industry specific KPIs, which is basically kind of looking at the competitors, but doing a competitive analysis. So there are tools out there, SEMrush, SimilarWeb are the first two that come to mind, that make it really easy for people to just put in any URL. You do not have to own it. You do not have to have access to anything in the back end. Put in a URL and it will spit out information about their traffic. Things like bounce rate, average duration that users are spending on the site, how much traffic they got. There's a ton of information out there. So if you've got, I would say, I would try and limit it to 3 competitors, and have one be at least a direct competitor, similar price point, similar area, similar clients, things like that. Just have a look at how much traffic they're getting to their website. There's also, I think SimilarWeb also spits out an estimate of how much they're spending on their Google ads. Super handy. On Facebook, you can go to Facebook ad library, Google it, I don't know the URL, and search your competitor, and it will show you all the ads that are running for that competitor. So you have more visibility than ever into your competitors. So definitely take advantage of it and see what they're doing and how you kind of compare.
Excellent. I have nothing to add.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. I need time to
Sure.
catch my
Take a breath.
breath. Maybe it's the wine.
Yeah, you need more.
The next one is surveys. Surveys are a fantastic way to get feedback from your customers. So you can send out a survey after people make a purchase, or you can send out surveys to current clients, or whatever your product or service is. There's a way to kind of find an email list of current people who are using your product or service. Send them, it could be an anonymous survey if you feel like there's people who might have difficulty being honest. But I know for us, this has provided invaluable insight into our customers and helps us increase the ROI for our clients. If I was a betting person, I would lose so much money come survey time, because there are clients that are so nice, so lovely, and then come survey time, they really shred us, or vice versa. There's clients who give us a tough time, and we're really trying to figure out where we stand with them, and they give us a glowing review. So I think when you reach out directly to people and say, here's a survey, we want you to be honest, we really want to help you help us be better, people are actually really driven to be quite honest, because they want to better the service for themselves too. So
yeah, that's a no-brainer thing to do. It's also provides you a temperature check on, is this a client that's ready to be asked to leave us a review in the public sphere? So if you're an agent that you've heard of Clutch or UpCity and things of that nature, for most agencies, those things are gold, but it's tough, because it's like, if they don't leave you that 5 out of 5, it's almost like you don't want it. So those surveys, those surveys are kind of a good barometer of like, okay, I think they're ready to be asked for that. Or if they're not, and there's something that's not quite where it needs to be, you can work on that to get to a point where you can make that ask. So that's been a really valuable process for us.
Yeah. Pro tip, take the survey that you want them to eventually answer. Like, for instance, Clutch has a survey that asks very specific questions. Just ask those questions in your survey. And if they're not perfect, if they're not glowing, then probably not ready. Because we have been surprised. I've created a survey and then we've asked someone to leave a review, and it wasn't 5 out of 5. So
you learned the hard way.
Yeah. Last one. Vanity metrics. It's actually titled engagement metrics, but I know you call it vanity metrics, which they are. These are likes, comments, shares, page likes, followers, things that don't actually necessarily result in sales, right? So you could have someone who's like, I want engagement on my post, but they're selling something. It's like, okay, I can do that for you, but don't you think we're maybe wasting a little bit of time? However, this is a good way to measure your ROI, or to help you increase your ROI. Let's go back to the scenario of the law firm. Let's say you're getting all the right people to the landing page, but they're not inputting their information to convert into a lead. Maybe there's something missing. There's something going wrong. So take that ad, or take a similar ad, and make the campaign about engagement. So you want to promote engagement on that post and see what people have to say. I think so many times it's like businesses are so robotic. They go on these ad platforms, they do their ads, they convert users, and they never really know their customer who's converting on the site, on the platform. So I think boosting or having a campaign just around engagement is a really good way to get insight into what these users are thinking. Maybe there's something that's not working on your website and people are trying to check out and they can't. You'll find out very quickly if someone comments on your ad. Or, maybe the price point's too high, or maybe more people would convert if you had free shipping. Whatever the reason, you won't know until you actually hear from people. So promoting some of your posts or having some of your ads just before engagement, just to hear from the people that you're reaching, can be a really valuable tool into converting more people and getting a higher return on your investment.
Outstanding. I agree. I already talked about my vanity metric. I already went on my vanity metric sounding board. So if
in honor of me going to trivia tonight after this, shall I do some more trivia for you?
You've got trivia for me?
Yeah, rapid fire.
All right, go. Let's do it. What do you got?
If you don't get every one of these right, you have to shave your head.
Done. Deal.
If you get every one of these right, I will.
You should have said I would have to shave my beard, because then my wife would divorce me.
If you don't get every one of these right, they're relatively easy. I will say that. You have to shave your eyebrows.
I don't have that much hair to begin with. Like that's not fair. Yikes.
In what year was Facebook launched?
Seriously?
That's
if I get them all right.
That's easy.
What year was Facebook launched?
Are you kidding me? Have you ever seen The Social Network? Have you ever seen the movies about it?
Yeah, I have. It's been a while. I think I can get it within a year.
Fine. You get plus or minus 2 years. That's generous.
I want to say 2004.
Nice. Nailed it.
Was that right?
Yeah,
am I right?
Dead right.
Okay, so funny. The only reason I got that right is because in my mind I was going back to when did I start paying attention to it professionally, which was 2005.
Interesting.
And then I was like, well, it must have been out for a year. So that's how I did it.
How much do you use Twitter? You used to be heavily followed on Twitter, didn't you?
Oh, I still have a massive Ronaldo following. Is that his name? Ronaldo?
You're up there with Ronaldo.
I have like 45,000, 50,000.
Damn.
But it's bullshit. It was all, I was going nuts for a while in terms of growing that and using it, but yeah, it's a ghost town now.
Well, as of 2018, what was the maximum number of characters you could use in a tweet?
Oh, what was that number? I think it was.
How much could you rant before you had 65? How much could you rant?
The number of characters, right?
Yes.
Oh, 255?
Wait, sorry. Let's determine how much I'm going to give you plus or minus either side. How many characters? I'm going to go with 25 characters either side.
Oh man, 250.
Oh, I'm glad I gave you 25. It's 280.
Oh, all right.
No, you're out. It's 30.
Well, I know, but I'm still proud of myself.
Okay, fine. You can be proud of yourself.
I'm still amazed I was that close.
Okay.
Just so those for you that are listening, I am not a social media pro anymore. Like I am removed from it. Like now I'm like the guy behind the gals and the guys. So I'm a little rusty. So
that's why this is fun. Clear. Okay. Yeah. Right. I don't know why these dates are so random, but as of 2008, which country in the world had the most Facebook users? I'll give you a hint. I would bet, I don't know this for a fact, but I would bet it's not too dissimilar to what it is now. So don't get too caught up on the date, is what I'm trying to say.
So in 2000, so the question is in 2008, which country had the most Facebook users? The question
specifies in 2008 which country has it, but what I'm trying to say is like, don't get too hung up on the date. How could it not be the U.S.? Is it not the U.S.? I'm shaking my head.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
In shame. Why
The
does that not make
most
sense to you?
users?
What?
Oh, wait. It's got to be China.
Eh.
China? No, maybe not. They don't. No, I've just thought that because they're so big. I don't know. Why would it be the
You're
U.S.?
getting warmer, I'd say. You're definitely geographically warmer.
Don't challenge me there. I don't know
It's
this
becoming one of
one.
my favorite food genres, food categories,
Favorite food.
cuisines.
I don't.
A little bit
I
of
don't know.
naan, a
I'm
little
just
bit
gonna
of
be.
curry.
India.
Yes, nice. 200,
Really?
270 million users. I guess this is as of 2008. Again, I don't know why the dates are so random. I do
That's
not create
weird.
these questions.
I'm not a smart man. Movie reference. You know what that's from?
Forrest Gump.
Okay.
Was
just
it
making sure.
really? You
Yes.
know, I briefly went as Jenny for Halloween, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got our neighbors went as
Yeah, you're
different
more of an old
versions
soul.
of Forrest Gump. Oh, Forrest Gump is
Most.
so good.
Yeah, but most
Dear,
guys and gals your age aren't picking up on movies that
the
are 15,
amount you talk
20
about
years
your
old.
age, people would think you're like geriatric.
I feel like it.
Is that because you're getting
feel
knee
like
surgery soon? Ankle surgery?
Ankle surgery. I already had knee
It's
surgery.
getting a bionic
unfortunately.
ankle to match his bionic knee.
Yeah, well, it's not very bionic anymore. That was done 20 something years ago. I think they put some twigs and berries in there. So I'm starting to feel it.
Hayden has a bionic knee, if that makes you feel any better. It's nothing to do with age.
Really?
Yeah. He shredded
No, it's just
it.
I had it done 20 years ago, so I'm sure it's one of those things that probably needs an upgrade at some point. But
Okay, if you don't get this question right, and you have to agree before, you have to shave one of your eyebrows and
I'm not,
and tattoo
whatever.
social alerts in its place.
All right.
What?
Okay.
What is Mark Zuckerberg's middle name?
Are you kidding me? No way. No. Is that even public domain?
I'm staring at it right now.
Meta.
It is surprising. Well, it's kind of a good name. Like it goes.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's Elliot.
Angela.
Elliot.
Elliot? Like I would have ever known that.
Okay,
Whatever.
I can't wait to see you with a
Next.
shaved eyebrow.
Not happening. That was not fair.
Do you have a trivia question
Would
for
never
me?
get that.
How about a
Not ready.
Jason trivia? What's something I should know that I might not know? Because Kimberly, okay, one of our employees, we had our one-on-one today. She was asking me questions about you, and I was like, I don't know. Why would I know that?
What's my favorite movie of all time?
Back to the Future. Give me something hard.
I guess. Well, I was wearing the shirt.
Wore the shirt. Yes, I think I'd
day.
be able to answer that anyways. Because don't you have a Back to the Future tattoo?
No, I don't. I have a tattoo that's got a timepiece in it, but it's not Back to the Future.
But is it like Back to the Future reference? Like, is that?
No.
Oh, okay.
It actually references my mom.
Oh,
Her
nice.
birthday is the time on the timepiece.
I want to get a tattoo. Something about
That's
my
the
dad.
key when you get a tattoo. As long as it means something to you, that's
Yeah.
all that matters. Every tattoo I have has a story behind it, and they're my favorite things in the world.
I mean, it's your body.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to find a good artist for sure, but
but again,
you know,
that's
the one
for
I
you.
just got.
You want to make sure the art
Yeah.
on your body looks
no.
good. Anyone else commenting
I
on your
wouldn't
body
care what
is
anybody
like,
said.
"Oh, whatever, thanks.
I mean, as long as it matters to you, that's all that matters. Now I got to figure out what my fifth one will be, which I'm trying to figure out. I think it might be. I'm thinking Back to the Future. I think maybe something with that.
I like
Maybe
that.
the DeLorean or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Socialers, eyebrow tat.
Not yet. We haven't proven ourselves yet. Our audience isn't big
When
enough
we
yet.
get the 1,000th member of the Slack channel, what are you willing to do?
A tattoo. I don't know.
You don't have to
What
do
if
a
I sell
tattoo.
it?
This is how you
I
motivate
always thought
people.
about, well, I mean, we've had socialistics for 5 years, and I was like, oh, is that, I don't know. It just seems so, what's the word? Like, when you get something that's just, I guess if it means something to you, it doesn't matter, but like just a logo or something seems kind of like,
It's
don't
almost like a little bit too literal.
Yeah, I don't like literal. When I think about tattoos, I mean, the most literal tattoo I have is I have a Cubs World Series one on my leg. But I'm a lifelong Cubs fan. You know, that was,
You earned that.
I didn't care.
The blood,
Yeah,
sweat,
I
and
mean-
tears you put into that team.
Yeah, for sure. But everything else is like, it's a story. Like if anybody looks at it, it'd be like, I have this like really cool story about all of them, like how it came to be and why. And I think I love that about, the artistry of it and just the thought and time and effort that goes into it. So
Let's play a quick do we know each other game before we have to sign off.
okay.
We each name 3 things about the other person that we know they love, because I'm curious if you can name 3 things about me that I love. Okay.
Oh man.
Baseball, the 80s / Back to the Future. Am I going to say tequila? I'm not, because I know you don't like tequila. You put up with tequila. I know you loved your kitty cat. I know you love Franklin, even though we get an automatic eye roll. And I know you love Molly more than anything. So go. And you can't say Hayden. That's cheating, because I named 4.
Well, I'll say traveling just because I
do
like
that.
to be all over the world.
I do that.
Yikes. I mean, I'm trying to think of.
This isn't your fault, by the way. This isn't like you don't listen to me. When I was talking about you today with Kimberly, I was like, wow, he's very passionate about a few things.
You could just pick up on things just by looking at the back behind me, stuff like that.
That's true.
I'm pretty,
there's a
I'm
baseball
pretty
back
simple.
there.
I'm not into a lot of stuff. You like hockey?
I do love hockey. That is a good pickup. I love ice hockey.
I just have to think for a second.
Yeah.
I was gonna say wine, but that doesn't count because
that's also
pale
tacky.
And
now that I think about it,
like Molly is like the wine queen. My wife, she's just like wine is like her thing.
Also, I just like $12 bottles of Pinot Noir. Like I'm not any type of connoisseur.
So the traveling, the hockey, I'd have to say something about Archie and dogs and animals.
That's fair enough. Archie, I would say Archie, hockey, and traveling are probably the top 3 conversation pieces of mine. So you nailed it.
I used to do this thing where every time I hire somebody, I'd have a document and it had all these awesome questions like your favorite color, your favorite cereal, like all these random things like favorite snack, favorite drink. And I'd capture all that information up front. And then the people would forget about it. They'd forget about that I did that. And then like a year later, when it's their birthday, I could reference that and be like, and get them something like, oh my God, how did you know that?
I
like
literally
that? I'm like,
thought
I don't know. I paid
of
attention.
Creating a document today when Kyle told us, one of our employees told us he likes Mountain Dew. Like he collects versions of Mountain Dew.
You should have like a document or something when either do that right when you hire them and just overtly ask those questions, or keep a file. And then when you like today, when he said that, write it down.
Yeah.
And then 6 months from now, when you're doing like when
I get him a Mountain Dew t-shirt, he's not like, you stalker.
He's like, yeah. So
nice.
I got a lot of mileage out of that. So. All right. These people have been, if they're still listening this long, then obviously, you
guys are the real MVPs, minimum viable products.
Yeah. Well, awesome episode. Felt very natural, very easy. If you're listening, you know the drill. Go join our community if you haven't already. Follow us on social.
Socialers.com.
All that good stuff. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, all that good stuff. And I think we'll be back next week. I think we've committed to doing this every week, so you don't have to wait that long.
We'll be back. Ankle surgery will not get us down, me especially.
Nope. I'll keep going.
Nice.
I'm here for my socialers community.
That's right.
Our socialers community. All right, Joe and Anna, have a great, very fun, delicious Thanksgiving. See you guys soon. Bye.